your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what to do. And you're the guy who will decide where to go. This excerpt is from one of my favorite children's books, All the Places We Will Go. I was gifted this book from the school where I used to work, just outside London before I moved to India.
Great. This looks like an appropriate expert to begin our talk, darling. We both love traveling. We have traveled close to 40 countries between us. This is the route we have been taking. We started our trip from Thailand, and we call this our honeymoon. And we have traveled all the way from Thailand following the Silk Route, and here we are today.
Konnichiwa, I'm Yuka, I'm Japanese, and lived and worked in London before getting married to my husband.
Namaste, I'm Sunil Kaushik. I come from the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore.
We have named our trip Sushi and Samba on the Silk Road. You know that sushi is a famous Japanese delicacy.
And sambar is spicy South Indian soup.
As our journey title suggests, we love food, and sampling local food in the different country we visit on our journey plays an important part of our adventure.
Okay, this is how our story begins. One summer, I was cycling in the Himalayas while my wife was trekking. We both happened to attend the Dalai Lama's public talk, and we happened to be in the same shared taxi, Destiny.
In the taxi, Sunil told me that he'd been married before, but it was not your usual kind of marriage.
A fortune teller told my family that my first wife was going to die soon. And to avoid any such tragedy, he came up with a brilliant idea of getting me married to something, kill it, and so that my life is going to be really prosperous with my second wife. And this is not a joke. He got me married to, I'm going to show you my beautiful first wife, the banana tree.
I find it so funny, like you, and couldn't stop laughing and thinking, who's gonna get married to this poor man whose ex-wife is a banana tree?
So humor brought us together. From then on, we were traveling a lot. We were really good travel buddies. We traveled both in India as well as in Japan. Until one moment we really thought, okay, enough of being travel buddies. Let's get married.
So, yes, I'm his second wife. And thanks God that the first banana wife died peacefully, and that I'm still alive, and here we are, still happily traveling together now. So, my prince didn't arrive on a white horse. Instead, he arrived on a bicycle.
Cycling and seeing the world through a bicycle has always been my dream and passion. When I shared this dream of mine with my wife, she was equally excited. From then on, we started living a minimalistic lifestyle and doing exact opposite of what most of the newlywed couples do. No branded clothing, no cosmetics, no fancy restaurants, no car. I used to commute to the office on a bicycle, and believe me, it was one of the most beautiful phases of our life.
Just when I had started to become familiar and comfortable with my life in India, Sunil dropped his first bombshell.
Darling, you know what? The trip we are planning is going to be a budget trip, so we will not be staying in a paid accommodation, but we are going to be camping.
Now, I traveled a lot, but I normally stay in the comfort of my friend's house or in a hotel. It's not that I don't like camping, it's just that I couldn't imagine camping every day. But I hid my anxiety and said, okay. That was when Sunil dropped his second bombshell, an even bigger bombshell.
What do you think? You think we are going to be camping in the wild? No. We are going to be knocking on strangers' house and ask if you can pitch the tent in their yard.
Well, it was quite shocking. I had come to terms with the prospect of pitching a tent in a campsite. Knocking on strangers' doors seems like an altogether different proposition. I almost had a heart attack and thought that I would die like his ex-banana wife. But a week later, bomb number 3 went off. On returning from the office one day, Sunil casually informed.
Oh, we have a guest tomorrow.
Who's that?
A couch surfer.
You mean a stranger?
Yes, I have been part of couchsurfing and hosting many travelers before I got married to my wife. My wife loves hosting friends and families, but when it comes to strangers, she is quite apprehensive. And the second reason was it was just a week or two when she herself had moved to India and she was still in a cultural shock. And inviting a stranger, a guest at this point of time was really not a good idea. But like any other stubborn husband here, I went and did that. We hosted our first Indonesian couchsurfer as a couple and she loved it. From then on, we have been hosting more and more travelers from different nationalities. We cook for them, they cook for us, we listen to their stories, we get to know about their culture. When we were saving money for our travel, this became our mode of travel. And if any one of you have not done couchsurfing before, I would strongly recommend you to do that.
Then, a few months later, my crazy husband dropped his final bombshell. It was well planned. We had returned from a lovely trip to northern India and well aware that we needed to save more money for our trip. Sunil announced,
"We will be cycling most of the time, but darling, honey, you know that there are times where there might be a time pressure, I'm running out of visa, so we don't have budget to take a public transport, so we hitchhike."
It was almost a deal breaker for me. I feared a heart attack coming on yet again. Hitchhike? No way! Hitchhike is asking for trouble in my mind. It comes close to suicidal in my dictionary. I pictured my own gravestone next to former banana wife. My Indian husband is crazy, I thought.
After all these phases of husband and wife drama, we went to the packing phase. A week before our trip, we started packing and we restricted ourselves to just 2 backpacks for the entire year. And this was not a tough task because we have been leading a minimalistic lifestyle, but we made sure there are 2 important things that goes inside this backpack. If you're thinking it's a passport, you're wrong. A bag full of Indian spices and Japanese soya sauce to cook for our host. And then we are ready to go.
The trip has simply been fantastic. It's been amazing. It's been incredible. No amount of superlatives can do it justice. I'm so glad that I took the leap into unknown with my husband, and I opened myself up to a whole new world of experiences. Yes, I now knock on people's houses to ask if we can pitch a tent. Even when we don't share a common language, we talk and then enjoy talking and managing to communicate through gesture, some Japanese and some English and some local language. And many people invite us to have meal with them and insist on us to sleeping inside instead in our tent outside. Now, this doesn't happen every day. This is my sketch of a temple in Laos where a monk allowed us to pitch a tent in front of 3 Buddha statues. But he made us promise that we wouldn't kiss in front of Buddha because that would be disrespectful. Later on, a young monk gave us a bag full of donuts, sweets, and drinks. He was almost like a Father Christmas.
When we moved from Laos to Vietnam, unfortunately for 3 days I couldn't find a single ATM. There was not even a single penny in our pockets. But the local people took care of us, we had place to stay, we had food to eat. A year before, I promised my wife that I'm going to do something special on Valentine's Day. And the 4th day was Valentine's Day, and you know that women never forget Valentine's Day. Now, still not even a single penny in my pocket. But something strange happened. All of a sudden, one man stopped us and asked if we would like to join his family for lunch. We agreed. It was a big feast, but something special was, it was with red wine. Red wine with a big feast is indeed a special Valentine's Day. It's okay if there is a stranger around you. And on the same day, the lady that you see here, she stopped us and insisted on having tea with her. We agreed. Then she asked us to have dinner. We agreed. In between, she had gone and told the whole village that she had 2 foreigners at home. Close to 30 or 40 of them came down. We danced, we sang. It was wonderful. There was a small party that was happening in that village. But the icing on the cake was, that lady did not believe that we are a couple. She wanted to protect her from me, and she slept beside her. I slept beside this man on Valentine's Day. Isn't it romantic?
And we visit a local bazaar in Turkmenistan. In Turkmenistan, people are very curious to meet us, and it seems like almost everybody wants to give us something like ice cream, water, and vegetable. It was almost like people are competing each other to see how much they could give us. I even had a free threading treatment. I was very lucky. We only had the story of Turkmenistan being very closed country, but we found people very open, extremely kind and friendly, and very curious about other countries.
We go to a random Facebook group and put a message that, hey guys, is there anyone ready to host us? And this beautiful Georgian British couple said, hey, just come out to our place. Our initial plan was to stay there for 3 or 4 days, but we ended up staying for more than a month.
We cycle most of the time, but there are occasions when we need to hitchhike. The first time I was really scared, but having stuck out my arm, I quickly dropped it in apprehension. But imagine my amazement when the very first truck I waved at in Iran actually stopped. Emboldened by this, we soon became a little addicted to hitchhiking because the truck driver was so generous, helpful, and friendly. They offered us a tea, biscuit, ice cream, and kebabs. Sometimes they cooked us breakfast and lunch using the amazing kitchen facility, which built into the side of the truck. And we always sing and dance with the truck drivers. Does it sound fun?
We love to challenge ourselves. Once the challenge was to travel Iran with $0. You heard it right, with $0. And make a short documentary out of it. It was a successful project. We traveled Iran with $0 and entered Armenia. But the interesting part was, it was so damn easy. There was not even a single moment where we could pitch our tent. Every time we asked the locals if we can pitch the tent, they just call us inside and treat us like their own family members. And they secretly call their relatives and say, hey, we are foreigners at home. And Iranians have big families, they're closely knit, and their relatives come down, 20 or 30 of them with food and presents for us. Once an Iranian man stopped us and said he wanted to give us a free ride. We agreed. Instead of taking us to the destination we wanted to go, he literally kidnapped us to his house, which was in a different city. Not for money, but he wanted us to be his guests for a few days. We were literally hosting this, And then, there was another moment where we were cycling in front of the wedding party, and we were literally pulled in to be part of the celebration, and we are dancing with the groom and the bride in Iran. We have endless stories to talk about people's generosity. After this talk, we'll be back on the road and looking forward to meet more people in Armenia who have the golden hearts and the countries to come from then on. And we'll be sharing these wonderful experiences with our friends and families.
Undertaking our bicycle trip, flattening up the college to knock on people's doors, couchsurfing and hitchhiking has given us a wonderful experience which could never be had from staying 5-star hotels. And it's now that I realize that my husband didn't drop bombshells. Instead, he dropped a golden opportunity at my feet. Thanks goodness that I didn't miss out on it.
We don't have an exact plan as to what we will be doing after this trip. We will be just embracing every available opportunity that is in front of us and believe that it is going to take us to the next chapter of our life. But we both share the same thought. After this trip, our house is always open to visitors. We would like to welcome people from any nationality, irrespective of their race, culture, creed, religion, economic status, etc. And this trip has also made us determined that we want to help as many people in as many ways as we can.
We are not religious and don't spend time trying to convert people to any particular religious ideology, but we do feel that we can campaign for the benefits of traveling. We will continue to spread the news that traveling by bicycle, meeting people with golden hearts, extending your experience by making friends and new family with people from different nationality can be life-changing. It's something we feel passionate about promoting and sharing.
We just hope that more and more people take up a similar travel and go through the experiences that we went through and discover the joy of knowing that there is a very thin line actually between nationalities. The entire concept of nationalism is an illusion. It didn't come from nature, but we human beings created it. When you meet the local people, your stereotypical image of that country will change. That stereotypical image of your country will change. I've had numerous opportunities to tell people that many Indians do eat meat. It's absolutely safe for Indian or any woman to travel in India. And more than all, in Kyrgyzstan, as soon as the immigration officer saw my Indian passport, he was like, "You got to dance and sing for me, if not I'm going to let you inside my country." So let me make it clear that we Indians, when we are happy, when we fall in love, we do not sing and dance on the streets. If we do that, we will be taken to a mental asylum.
Now, I'd like to say yes, but no. Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee are not Japanese. Now, I also had the opportunity to cook to people, Japanese and various different Japanese cuisine, to people who believe that Japanese eat only sushi and fish. Now, trust me, millions of Japanese men love women more than robots. There's no service to or see the world with your own eyes instead of believing everything reported in the media or by other people. Sometimes other people and media can create unnecessary hatred or negative feeling toward the other countries. We have to see the world through your own eyes.
We are totally convinced that if more and more people travel, we can give a better, peaceful world for our children and the generations to come. Just imagine, how can our children hate few countrymen where their own friends and extended families live? So, please treat us as your own family members who live in the same shared planet. Come and visit us wherever we are.
There are inevitably ups and downs on the road, but whenever I have found things difficult, I have always found a comfort in reading this book again and again. It encouraged and nourished me and excited me about the unknown journey in our life. So if we'd like to finish our talk where we started with a key message from this book.
You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on